LED light panels are great for photo and video work, but they're not particularly cheap. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a remote control LED light panel for around about $35. So the parts you'll need for this build are a 5-meter roll of LEDs, 300 to a roll. These particular type are the SMD 5050 in cool white, a power cable, a remote control with receiver module, an inline 12 volt 5 amp power supply, a barrel jack, some tape, solder, a soldering iron and a 1/4 nut. You'll also need an A4 or 8x10 picture frame. The deeper the walls, the better. Start by removing the backing of the frame and remove any hooks or stands, and then remove the glass. First thing we do is install a tripod mount. Measure halfway along the length of the frame. This is where we will install a 1/4 tripod mount. You can install one on each side, but I'm just doing the one. I'm making the other mark about 2/3 across the width of the frame, but this depends on the width of your own frame, and just have a gauge as to where the weight might balance. Grab a 10mm drill bit and drill deep enough to fit the nut within. Once the hole is drilled, place the nut over the hole. You can use a hammer to force the nut into the hole, but I prefer to use a clamp as a press to press the nut into the hole. Once the nut is pressed in and straight, add some glue to stop the nut from moving or pulling out of the frame. Super glue or Loctite work best. Now it's time to add the LEDs to the backing board of the frame. First, measure your frame and check the size of your LED strip. In most cases, these strips will be about 10mm wide and have about 300 LEDs per 5 meters. This adds up to around 20 rows of 15 LEDs per row. Grab your LED roll and start cutting at the join where you see the picture of the scissors. Draw a line along the middle of the board to help with aligning the strips, and start sticking the strips from the middle out to the top and the bottom. Make sure that each of the strips have the positive mark in the top left corner of each strip. We're going to have the positive all over the left hand side and the negative all over on the right hand side. Now it's time to start sticking the strips. Keep them aligned as possible, but some strips will be longer than others. Once you've finished sticking down the strips, strip 2 lengths of wire, each about twice the width of the board. Now solder all of the positives together down the left hand side using a zigzag pattern. This seems more difficult than staggering the strips and running the wire straight down, but this works about the same, and it's easier than you might think. Before you start soldering that wire to each of the terminals, start by tinning the copper pads and then solder on the wire. Once you've finished, hook up a 12 volt power supply and test the connections. Now flip the board over, glue the barrel jack to your preferred spot and connect the positive and negative wires to the jack. Tape down the wires ensuring they don't touch. Connect the LED wireless controller to the barrel jack and tape the excess leads anywhere you like to the back of the board. You can always make this more robust, but I recommend keeping everything attached to the board back rather than to the frame. Connect the power brick to the barrel jack of the remote and you're actually ready to go. There are a number of settings available with this particular remote and receiver, including various levels of brightness, but it's worth noting that these adjustments use pulse width modulation. That can cause flicker in a lot of cameras. Thankfully, the full power setting avoids the flicker issue. Adding an adjustable voltage regulator would also fix this issue. The brightness of this panel is great, almost as bright as a 125 watt compact fluorescent bulb, and it is a floodlight, not a spot, but very, very useful. The remote is also great and works from about 7 meters away, and you don't need line of sight. So there you go, an easy, cheap, useful LED light panel that you can make in about an hour. Costs around about $35. So if you liked this video or found it useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to be notified for more upcoming videos. And thanks for watching.